In this module, we'll explore the concept of circularity and the circular economy, focusing on how businesses put it into practice and how consumers respond. The circular economy is an economic model designed to eliminate waste and make the most of our resources. Instead of following the traditional take, make, dispose approach, it focuses on reusing, repairing, refurbishing, and recycling products and materials, keeping them in circulation for as long as possible. In this system, materials flow back into the production cycle after they've been used by consumers. Waste is no longer the end of the line. It becomes the beginning of something new. By viewing waste as a valuable resource, the circular economy relies on a smart mix of recycling, reuse principles, as well as renewable energy. The result? Products and materials are given multiple lives before they reach their final end-of-life stage. Embracing circularity doesn't just help the environment. It also delivers real benefits to businesses, economies, and society at large. Let's take a closer look at some of the key advantages. First, circularity drives innovation. By rethinking how products are designed, made, and used, companies are pushed to innovate. From using sustainable materials to creating modular products that are easier to repair or upgrade. Second, it improves efficiency across businesses and supply chains because circular strategies reduce dependence on virgin raw materials and help companies manage resources more effectively. Third, it generates competitive advantage because companies that adopt circular practices can differentiate themselves in the marketplace and better respond to growing customer demand for sustainable options. And finally, circularity creates new jobs because circular models require new roles that emerge in areas like recycling technologies, product repair and refurbishment, reverse logistics, and sustainable design. In academia, the investigation on circular economy moved from broad conceptual discussions to more practical, hands-on approaches and real-world case studies. However, most of the existing studies focus heavily on environmental impacts, while often overlooking the social and economic dimensions of sustainability. This narrow focus raises a critical concern. Without a more balanced approach, circular economy initiatives may fall short of delivering true long-term sustainability. Companies need for holistic strategies that bring together environmental, social, and economic goals to ensure meaningful and lasting impact. Companies play a pivotal role in creating the conditions for circularity. However, circularity would not exist without the involvement of consumers. As we've discussed, in circular systems, used products and materials are reintroduced into the supply chain to create new goods. But for this to happen, consumers must actively participate by returning products in ways that enable recycling and renewal. To support this shift, both governmental and non-governmental initiatives have worked to educate consumers on proper disposal and recycling practices. At the same time, the circular economy has given rise to new intermediaries, organizations responsible for enabling what's known as the reverse flow of materials. So, what is reverse flow? In traditional linear models, the consumer marks the end of the supply chain. But in circular systems, consumers become the starting point of a new cycle, initiating the return of materials back into production. Companies have also stepped up by launching initiatives that not only make recycling easier, but often reward consumers for their participation, turning sustainability into a shared effort between producers and users. Even when they're no longer in use, consumers can be reluctant to part with their old products. Emotional attachment, lack of information, or skepticism about what happens after disposal often stand in the way. Marketing researchers have explored strategies to help ease this transition from the consumer's home to the recycling point. One effective approach is encouraging people to take photos of their cherished, but unused items. This simple act helps preserve the emotional connection, allowing the product to live on as a memory, while freeing the item to be donated or recycled. Another powerful strategy is transparency. Many consumers know little about what actually happens after they recycle a product. By visually showing the journey of a disposed item, how it's sorted, processed, and reused, brands and institutions can build trust and increase consumer confidence in the system. These strategies help remove emotional and informational barriers, making it easier for consumers to actively take part in the circular economy. Recycling is not the only way to extend the life of products. Repairing is a core pillar of the circular economy, as it extends the lifespan of products and helps prevent unnecessary waste. Instead of throwing items away, repair keeps them in use for longer, saving resources and reducing environmental impact. While some consumers have become active advocates through the global right to repair movement, many others still overlook the importance of maintenance or simply lack the knowledge and tools to repair their belongings. In response, some companies are stepping up by designing products that are easier to repair and providing clear instructions, tutorials, or even repair kits. As the two pictures illustrate, these initiatives not only empower consumers, but also support a culture of care and longevity around the products we use every day. Finally, recycling is not enough if consumers are not willing to buy products made by recycled materials. More and more consumers are becoming aware of the environmental impact of the textile and clothing industry, especially the massive waste it creates. Images of mountains of unsold clothes and reports of fast fashion brands burning garments have gone viral. These powerful visuals not only exposed the realities of certain supply chains, but also triggered strong emotional reactions. Yet, many consumers feel stuck. They don't know how to escape this wasteful system or make choices that truly help the environment. This uncertainty often leads to eco-anxiety and sometimes even paralysis when it comes to making purchasing decisions. To complicate things further, the idea of circularity remains vague for most people. With so many definitions floating around, it's no wonder consumers struggle to understand what circularity really means or how it applies to their shopping habits. In regions like the Alps, circular practices are still largely unknown. While products labeled "Made in the Alps" are often associated with quality and sustainability, they're rarely linked to circularity. Even when consumers say they want to buy sustainable and circular products, their actions don't always match their words. This gap between intention and behavior is what we call the attitude-behavior gap. Research shows that while people have positive attitudes towards sustainability, those attitudes don't often lead to real changes in purchasing behavior. Educating consumers and effectively communicating circularity are crucial for the success of circular products and the broader transition to a circular economy. Increasing environmental awareness should be paired with collaborative efforts from multiple stakeholders, guided by a national-level legal framework. Such a framework would foster cooperation and innovation between public and private sectors, alongside financing mechanisms to support advancements in the field. By delivering clear, informative messages to target segments, communication plays a key role in advancing circular solutions. Ultimately, clear communication and strategic collaboration are fundamental to driving the growth and success of the circular economy.